I am learning Hungarian, one of the hardest languages in the world. Yay me. But I want to go over how I'm learning that language. So the first 6 months, I'm focusing on immersing myself as much as possible in the language. You know how little kids do it? They're born and then their parents speak English. And then after years and years and years after hearing English, they finally start picking up certain words, and then when they get to a certain age, they can actually have conversations. I feel like as adults, we have the ability to do that a lot faster than a child, right? Because, they have to learn how to actually have those conversations and speak. We already know how to speak. So I figured I would just immerse myself as much as possible, watching videos on YouTube, Netflix, Disney Plus, anywhere I can watch videos, TV shows, and vlogs. And I just wanted to avoid doing the whole memorization route. I've tried to learn other languages in the past. I've tried to learn German and Hungarian, and the whole memorization thing is exhausting, and then you forget the word. I figured that I would do Steve Kaufman's version where he uses the Link app and he acquires words. When I first heard of that, I'm just like, that sounds weird. And then I started researching it and I'm like, oh, actually, no, I think that's the way. I think that's the way for me to learn a language. So I have been sometimes using subtitles, sometimes not using subtitles. It really just depends. Netflix has a lot of options for movies in Hungarian. Not all the options, but a lot more options than Disney Plus. I will say the subtitles suck though, so most of the time I won't use subtitles for Hungarian unless it's the Hungarian audio with English subtitles, just so I know what's going on if I've never seen that movie or TV show before. Disney Plus is a lot better. And the issue with Netflix is that the subtitles don't match up to the audio. Like the character will say something and the audio will have something completely different. And it's like, why are they adding extra words that the character didn't say? Disney Plus doesn't have that issue 99% of the time from what I'm seeing. Most of the time, the audio matches up with the subtitles, which is great for if I want to see the visuals. Because I think it's really hard learning a language not knowing how the word is spelled if you don't see it. And so if I can just see the words on the screen as the character is seeing it, I can see, okay, this is how you say the word. This is how the word is spelled. And sometimes it's nice just to not have any subtitles because honestly, when I'm tired, it's exhausting. It's exhausting to be like, okay, read the subtitles, look up quickly to, see what's going on the screen. Sometimes I just want to experience the movie or TV show or the vlog without any subtitles and just focus on listening and just experiencing. But I figured I also bought some books. I bought some workbooks, the Magyar OK workbooks. So I have this A1. This is just like the workbook. And then I have the textbook to go along with it. And then I have another textbook. There's like a lot of these books. And then I actually got more. I was told that these are really good to work with. So I figured let me just go and buy the rest of them because why the heck not, right? So this is the one for A2. Here's another A2. I think this is just, you can write in this one as well. And then here's another one. This is the workbook as well. And then I got the B2. And then, that's B1. I don't say it's B2. B1, this is another B1. I think this is the actual workbook and the first one is textbook. I don't know. You can write in all of them. And then when you get to a certain level, it's not even, there's like no English in the book. It's all Hungarian. Can't wait till I get to that part where it's like, oh, I understand all of this stuff. Here is B2. I have another B2. And then I also got some posters for these. I haven't opened them yet, so I don't know if I'm going to use those. But I also got books to actually read. So I got a series because I figured that could be nice, but just like, immersing myself and getting as many new words in as possible. So I got this book. I don't even know how to say that. This is the first book of the series. This is the second book of the series, the third book, and the fourth book. Honestly, I got this from a Chicago bookstore. Just being able to get these books in the US, because I'm in Texas, and it not being too expensive, because if I got it from Hungary, I would have to pay a tax. I think they have a VAT tax, and then they also have like tariffs coming into the US that we as customers have to pay for as well, right? I got this book, and then I got this book as well. I've seen the movie. I don't know if I'd be able to see the movie here in the US. There's also licensing issues with movies and TV shows being available on like Netflix and Disney Plus. That's why the available movies and TV shows to watch is very limited here. And then I have this book. I'm a minimalist, and so this one is on minimalism. I figured it has to be interesting enough for me to actually read. Otherwise, I'm not going to finish the book. I got this one, the Beginner's Hungarian Dictionary. Haven't really looked at it much, to be honest, which is unfortunate because there's a lot in there. I think I'm just more of I am a visual learner, but I like seeing something on like a TV show or movie where it makes sense to mention that thing versus like this, it's like more so memorization. And I have to read it. If I don't know how to read in Hungarian, how am I supposed to read all of this? I don't know how it sounds. And I don't know how much that's going to mess me up if I'm reading it and then, they say it and it's completely different than what I thought. That happens in English too, where I have read a word and I say it out loud to someone. I've never said the word out loud and they're like, how did you say it? And I'll say it again. I'll be like that. They'll be like, that's not how you say it. I'm like, okay, well, I haven't said the word out loud before. So there's that. And then I have this Hungarian, the Complete Course for Beginners. I actually haven't read this. At the beginning of this, I figured I would take like certain courses in English to help me learn. And then I figured, let me just do Steve Kaufman's version of immersion because I think that would be better for me. And then the last one is Verbs and Essentials of Grammar. So I have quite a bit of Hungarian books. I suppose I also could have gone to the library. I haven't been to the library here in Texas because I'm new to Texas. But, it's tough. With a language like Hungarian where there's not a lot of options in Hungarian, I feel like I have to buy this stuff because I actually did look on the library and I didn't see any of the Magyar OK books at all. So I'm going to do the best that I can with what I have. So back to the Link app, I bought the Black Friday deal for that for a year to see how that goes. And I've been tracking certain like words. They call them known words. Known words, I don't really like that word because if you know it, you would think you understand the word and you understand the English version, and that's not what it means in the app. It just means the word that you have come across. But I will import TV shows and movies from Netflix and YouTube into the Link app. And so for the ones from Netflix, it will add the audio. It's like AI generated audio that will read it. And then all of the scripts will be imported. So you can go through the words and add them as links. Those are words that you want to focus on learning. And then later on, you can go through them as vocabulary to learn them. I was doing that a lot at the beginning, but I would click on a word to see the meaning, and then 10 seconds later, I've forgotten the meaning of the word. It's so frustrating. So I had to stop doing that because I'm like, I can't do this. I need to just acquire words. You see them over and over and over again. Like, let's say, no is nem. I've seen that word so often, and I understand the word from exposure. The word for yes is igen. I've seen that word so many times that I now just understand what it means. I haven't memorized that word. I don't need to memorize those words. I understand what those words are, right? And so that's what I've been doing. And then same thing with the YouTube vlogs. I can actually import that into Link. I can actually watch those YouTube videos in link, and then it shows the video playing, and then it goes with the audio, so I can see the audio, exact audio that it goes with. And the audio is always correct because the audio is straight from YouTube. The only frustrating thing with link that I've found is that if there's no subtitles in Hungarian, you can't import that video into YouTube. And so now what I'm doing is I'm still using link, but I'm using it a little bit less so I can focus on just immersing myself in the language more and not worrying about, oh, I have to import every single thing into link, because it does take a lot of time when you're scrolling. Okay, let me look at these words. Every word that is blank, it assumes that you know. I don't understand why it's claiming I know words that I don't actually know. But yeah, I don't want to like focus on the things that I don't need to focus on. I just want to immerse myself as much as possible in the language that way. And then in 6 months, when I'm at a point where, let's say I know 100 words or 200 words, I don't know where I'll be in 6 months, but when I know enough words to understand the words, at that point, I will hire a tutor. And I want to work with a tutor 2 times a week so I can practice actually having a conversation. Because I could start having conversations now, but it would be a lot of memorization. And where does that get me? You know, I see people learning languages, and they've said that what they do is they take their native language, English, let's say, right? They're learning, let's say, Spanish. When they go to speak Spanish, they're thinking, okay, this is how I want to say it in English. Now I have to translate it into Spanish and say it in Spanish. When someone replies to them, they take what they say, they translate it into English, and they understand what they're saying. They have to come up with a response now. That sounds exhausting. I want to think, feel, dream, etc. in Hungarian. I want to understand it that way, where I never have to translate into English to understand anything. I did hire a company to get documentation to see if I qualify for citizenship by descent for Hungary. I'm like 99% sure that I qualify. I know that my great-grandparents were born in Hungary. Both sides of my grandfather's side, or I should say, was it both sides? Because my grandfather's parents were born in Hungary. And then even further back from there, his great-grandparents, both sets were both born in Hungary. So just trying to get the paperwork for that. At best, I qualify for simplified Hungarian citizenship by descent. So that means that I have to learn Hungarian, which I don't have an issue with that. I think that if you're going to get a citizenship, why wouldn't you speak that native language, right? So I wanted to start learning Hungarian because I have pushed this off quite a bit. If I started last year, I would be a lot further. So I don't want to be like holding back anytime soon. But with the government shutdown, it's just taking longer to get that information. So yeah, that's my whole reason for learning Hungarian. But then I do have other languages I want to learn. But I want to start with this one because that makes sense. So I can come up with, okay, well, I'm going to come up with a plan that works for me to learn a language. And maybe I'll learn things along the way where it's like, I should have done this differently. Although when I get to the next language, it will be so much easier because Hungarian is so hard. Hungarian is not like any other language. It's just completely different. There are words that I'll come across and I'll be like, oh, I know what that means in English. And no, it's not what I think it means in English. 9 times out of 10, I am completely wrong. It's kind of frustrating, to be honest, but you know, it is what it is. It's interesting too. My grandfather spoke Hungarian. I never heard him speaking Hungarian, but my father told me that. But my father doesn't speak Hungarian because typically when you grow up in a household where one parent speaks the language and the other parent doesn't, you typically aren't taught the language. Like my mother speaks many languages. She's actually from Ghana. So she speaks Twi and some other languages. My father only speaks English. My sibling and I were not taught my mother's language, which I'm not even interested in getting a Ghanaian citizenship by descent, so that doesn't matter. But yeah, there are even people who grow up in a household where both parents speak the language and they're still not taught the language. But I think that with technology and AI and all the advances we have today, it's a lot easier to learn languages while living in the US. It's a lot doable versus before. You even now people are still told, well, you should immerse yourself, you should move over to Hungary. I don't have the ability to move over to Hungary right now. I just don't. My life is very much here in the US. I'm not opposed to moving to Hungary in the future. I would love to. If I got my citizenship, I would love to move over there. But we have all of these apps and things that we can use here in the US and still learn the language. I have access to tutors and all the tools I really need, right? I mean, I'm limited. I'm greatly limited because Hungarian is hard, and the number of speakers of Hungarian is a lot smaller than, let's say, Spanish, right? Once I get to the point of learning Spanish, I will be so set because there are so many movies and TV shows in the Spanish language versus in Hungarian. The licensing is just very limited. But I am very excited to see how this goes. I'm about a month in, a little more than a month in, of learning Hungarian and immersing myself. At first I was trying to spend like 6 hours a day, which sounds crazy, but I have an issue with like doom scrolling and bed rotting, and I have ADHD, and I just have all this time, and I get so bored. I was bored all the time, constantly bored because I'm not like using my brain for anything productive, and I'm like, okay, I need to start learning Hungarian. As soon as I started learning Hungarian, I'm a lot less bored because I'm actually doing something and being productive and making progress. So right now on the Link app, let me see how many words I'm at that I understand. Because before I was at 0, right? You start out at 0. I didn't know any Hungarian whatsoever. I previously used Duolingo a little bit, but I wasn't really trying to immerse myself in Hungarian. And it's like I learned something and forget it right away. And let's see. I'm at 39 words. 39 words that I understand. That's really good. That's really good because this is a very hard language. But again, seeing words over and over and over and over again and associating the meaning with it because you understand the meaning is just, I think that's the way to go. And especially because the words just don't line up. A lot of the words don't line up. Again, like I said, I see a word and I think, oh, I know that is in English. I look it up and I'm just so off that I can't even if I wanted to memorize, I wouldn't be able to. So yeah, that is the plan. I'm hoping to make more videos to document the process of how far I've come, the frustrations, the wins, and all of that stuff.